Here's Brody Brazil.
I feel like every Peloton video I make here on YouTube starts with the very same disclaimer of me saying, what? You can't tell I'm a big Peloton guy? It's not obvious to you that I ride the bike all the time? But in all seriousness, I was so fortunate to get the Peloton when I did. It was early April of 2020, right before orders went through the roof. It came within 2 weeks, and I've obviously had it during some difficult spans of life. Obviously, the entire year of 2020, but also being a parent and somebody who works late at night. I'm tired occasionally. I don't have time occasionally. It's been a tremendous resource. My point is that imagine how things would be physically for me if I didn't have the Peloton and all that it offers. And so the point of this video is, through my experience, and I don't know, a couple hundred rides by now, is to share my top 5 Peloton cycle instructors. Now, to be clear, I realize there's a bunch of Peloton people, either on the tread or body weight or free weights or yoga and meditation. There is a core of talented instructors working for Peloton. But I'm just focusing here on my favorite cycle instructors. And with that said, I may exclude some people who I also like. I just had a really hard time of narrowing it down to my actual favorite top 5. And they will come, by the way, in not necessarily any particular order. I'll get to that in just a second. Let me first kind of clear the air here of what I'm looking for in terms of a Peloton cycle instructor. These characteristics right here. I'm looking for tough love. I'm not looking for somebody to get on there as an instructor virtually on the screen and baby me. I want them to motivate me. I want them to have me try and reach a PR every single ride. And even if I'm not motivated or mildly motivated, or some days like I'm really into the ride, I just want somebody who's always going to bring it and not make excuses for me built in. I want them to mentally push me as best they can. I also like somebody who's compelling, and I don't know what the description of that is, but somebody who's interesting and might bring up a couple additional topics or tips or resources. Again, they're supposed to be the experts, the instructors. I'd like them to pass along some information, little tidbits here and there that are valuable to me along the way. Could be related to the workout, could be related to current events or real life. I don't need anything too deep, but so long as it's surface level and interesting to me, I'll obviously find that compelling. I'm looking for somebody who's organized in these rides, and obviously the targets are on the bottom of the screen in terms of the cadence and the resistance, but I want some structure, like here's what we're about to do in the next 5 minutes. 30 on, 10 off, 2 minutes on, 1 minute off, whatever. I'd like it to be fairly laid out so I at least know what to expect. It's not that I'm mentally paying attention my best during these rides. In fact, quite honestly, half the time I'm spacing out a little bit. I'm letting my body do all the work and kind of shutting my brain off for about 30, 45 minutes or whatever of the day. That is such an important time to have your brain not be doing the work and your body be doing the work. Kind of a flip of what at least me and my body are doing most of the day. And last but not least, I'm looking for somebody who's a little bit predictable. And my point on that is to say that if somebody's generally low-key on a regular basis, I don't want them cranked up to a 12 all of a sudden one day when I was least expecting it. Or, and this is hard to do, trust me, I know as a performer, somebody who is usually a 10 of 10, and on this day they're a 6 of 10, kind of a dud. And again, I get it, but somebody who's generally predictable. You're allowed to have those off days or those less days or those slower days. Absolutely. But predictability for me in personality and the workout and the approach are awesome. And that's kind of why you choose your favorites, right? Based on predictability. Here are the characteristics I'm not looking for in a Peloton instructor. Number one, I don't need a performance. I don't need this to be all about them. I've chosen them and the ride as part of a couple different things. Usually it's the time frame I've got. Usually it's the type of ride I want to do. It has something to do with the music that's usually part of the ride. And yes, somewhere in that mix is who is actually the instructor of that class. So I don't need them to be the performer here. I want them to be the guide here. And that's kind of, I guess, also good advice for somebody who's a broadcaster and a YouTuber as well. I'm just the guide through the program. I'm not necessarily the star of the show. I'm also looking for somebody who's not necessarily out there to give life advice all the time. And I have seen that from time to time on occasion, and people who aren't parents talking about how to manage life with kids and this and that. And we really don't need to get into all those corners. And for the most part, Peloton instructors do a very good job of staying away from that. But I'm not here for life advice. I'm literally here to work out with you. And it's as simple as that. Sometimes you don't need to talk the entire 20, 30, or 45 minutes. Kind of goes against what I'm doing right now, but this is a YouTube video. But I don't need all talking. In fact, some of the favorite parts of my favorite Alex Toussaint rides, which he's in the top 5, is when he just says, I'm going to let you do whatever you want for the next 45 seconds. Go. And then he gets off the bike and he just starts clapping at you to motivate you. And that's all you really need in the moment. So all talking, not really looking for that. You can pause. There can be silence. Let's enjoy the music together. If it's a really good song, let's get into it. I'm also not a big fan of singing through the entire song. A couple lines here and there, the parts that hit, okay. But I don't need all talking. I don't need a podcast. I also don't need confusion, right? What are we doing right now? What are we doing again? Wait, are we off the seat? Are we back on the seat? What's the cadence? What's the plan here? I'm not looking for confusion. Okay, all of that established, here are my top 5 favorites. Sorry, I made you wait a little bit. In no particular order except for the last one, who's definitely going to be number 1 in my book. Emma Lovewell sets a good tone from the start. She's firm, she's not overboard, she's fun, she's friendly and direct. And I think the best compliment I could give is that of all the Peloton instructors, if you said, hey, you need to go out and, have a drink with somebody and have a laugh or a dinner or just share some time together, some social time, Emma Lovewell might be on that list for me. It also doesn't hurt that my wife says Emma Lovewell is her doppelganger. So maybe there's a subliminal friendly connection there for me, but she just seems fun and energetic and, like I said, usually optimistic and positive and a little bit, like I said, firm but not overboard. She's not necessarily Alex Toussaint, even though Alex is my favorite. I think I've established that. Ben Aldis. And I guess my theme, as you're about to see here, is that anything British just always seems better. I don't know. It's the accent. It feels, and some of the words used, it feels more sophisticated. And I don't know that I needed that during a Peloton ride, but apparently I do. Ben is never trying too hard, right? He's got the confidence. He's not trying to hook you with overt personality or too much of that. And again, I've said before, that's one of the things I can appreciate. He just is there for the ride. He is there to literally guide you. And he seems like a pretty simple individual. He's supportive during the ride, and I would say similar to a teammate. Like if you were going to train with somebody for something, and here I'm just trying to work out, I think Ben would be a great partner to train for something with. Hannah Frankson, also British. I'm doing a lot of the London studio rides here. She, for whatever reason, pairs up with a lot of courses that are part of my favorite music. And yeah, EDM's in there, some pop music, some hip hop. So again, I'll be perfectly honest, a lot of the times I pick the course based on the time that I have, the music that I like, and if it's Hannah Frankson doing the class, I will definitely tap on a Hannah Frankson class. She's a former track and field athlete, so I think you can kind of see how I like that as well too. Somebody of a competitive nature, somebody knows the right moments to interject. And also to play to the crowd a little bit when she's doing a class with people in the classroom or whatever they call it, the gym, the Peloton studio. She's very good with them, engaging them, but not being too much, not making it a hype person situation. She's just got overall good energy. I feel like Hannah Frankson just really gets it. And although we've never met, I feel like she gets me somehow. Up next is Leanne Hainsby. Oh yeah, I'm not even saying British anymore. I'm just putting the Union Jack on there. She's British. Oh, by the way, she and Ben, I believe, I don't know if they're married yet, but I think recently they got engaged. I'll just address that part right now. Very cool. Ben and Leanne met via Peloton. I know the feeling of meeting your spouse at work. That is very cool. Leanne Hainsby, and I was like devastated to find this all out after the fact, but I think this is the way she wanted it. Recently went through breast cancer treatments, and I guess at this point we're saying a breast cancer survivor. Tremendous that you would never have even known. She continued to do the classes, and I think in reverse, like you've won me over. It speaks volumes of how you went through a very difficult time. And of course, people are always there for you to listen and you should have taken time off, of course. But to know that you put your head down, you did what you wanted to do, the way you wanted to do it, and you're on the other side of it, just so tremendous. And somebody who's always so presentable and friendly and professional. Big fan of Leanne Hainsby. And again, one of the favorites that I will definitely go to for rides. And last but not least, literally last but first, Alex Toussaint. This is the dude for me. I love the way that he will like yell during the classes, and I feel like he's yelling at me. When I'm starting to tail off a little bit, no, come on, keep it going. It's like, how do you know? You can't see me. I know there's a camera there, but you can't see me. I do feel like he's the most sports-oriented instructor, not just because he's a fan of sports, but he's playing it like as if he was your teammate here or a coach in these situations. And I guess that's what I was looking for when I said earlier that I wanted somebody to go hard on me, to motivate me, almost like this is a practice for a game. And I know he does the whole competition thing. What is it? Team activate, team motivate. Very cool that he does those competitions. He brings in people to do collaborations with. But I feel like I'm at a sports practice when I'm doing a cycle ride with Alex Toussaint. And so I'll be very honest in saying that if there are 5 rides, all similar in terms of time and music and what I'm trying to accomplish, and Alex Toussaint is the instructor of any one of those, guarantee 100% of the time I'm going with AT. I'm a big fan of Alex Toussaint, a hardcore New Yorker, like you can definitely tell. He is born and raised in New York, at least I hope he is, because he definitely gives off that vibe. I like everything about his approach, his presentation, and his delivery. So there you go. Those are my top 5 Peloton cycle instructors. And if you're a Peloton rider, let me know down below in the comments section who are your favorite cycle instructors. Also, don't forget, thumbs up on this video down below. That'll greatly help me and the channel. And since I suspect some of you may be new here, you're just coming across me and this channel for the very first time, make sure you subscribe so I can definitely see you back here next time.